Welcome, everyone. My name is Charisse. I am here at the Central Branch, although I'm speaking to you online. So please seek me out if you have any questions about finding resources for college savings. I did put a bunch of information in the chat. If you put in paying for college into the chat bar, into the search bar at hclibrary.org. You will find lots of wonderful resources on how to finance a college education. As you can see, we do have closed captioning, which you can toggle on and off. Please note that these are Zoom generated closed captioning, so there might be some errors. We are also recording this. We have many exciting upcoming classes, which are scrolling right now through our slideshow, and I have put links to them in the chat. One class we're really looking forward to is a talk with historian Jillian Perry, who will be providing insight into the life and times of Anne Frank on May 6th at 7 p.m. She has written a book about Anne Frank, which is available at hclibrary.org. And I have put the link to register in the chat, and we encourage you to register for what is sure to be a very wonderful class. I'm going to kick off our class tonight now. College savings is a challenge for all families, and we're very excited and appreciative tonight to have Donna Tillman from the Maryland 529 plan to explain to us some of the ways to help finance a college education. Donna Tillman is a senior financial analyst at United Healthcare, and she has worked for them for almost 32 years. She's been an ambassador with Maryland 529 for the past 10 years. She really enjoys to speak to potential account holders on this wonderful savings plan, and we're really excited to have her here with us tonight. We will be answering questions at the end of the webinar, so put your questions in the Q&A box. If you have any technical issues, please use the chat. And I am going to turn this over to you, Donna.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Let me share. Okay, can everyone see my slideshow here at the start?
Looks great.
Okay, great. Thank you. Hello, my name again is Donna Tillman. I'm an ambassador for the Maryland 529. We are the administrators of the Maryland Senator Edward J. Casemeyer Prepaid College Trust and the Maryland Senator Edward J. Casemeyer College Investment Plan. Today, we will discuss to point out that we have a very helpful website, maryland529.com, that has all the information you would need about both of our plans, as well as enrollment forms to get started. This presentation is set up to address our most frequently asked questions. Let's begin with why save for college? Let's say your goal is to have $25,000 to pay for your child's college education. Here we are showing two options. You can save in a 529 plan, or you can borrow the money by taking out a student loan, which is on the right side. But did you know that savings in a 529 plan can potentially cut your out-of-pocket costs by half versus borrowing the money with a student loan? For example, let's say you have a child who is 3 years old and you have 15 years before they start college. You choose to open a 529 account and invest $86 per month in your 529 plan over the next 15 years for a total out-of-pocket investment of about $15,500. And because you invested in a 529 account, you have potential earnings. We're going to assume a proposed rate of return of 6%. When you add that rate of return of 6% to that $15,500 you've invested out of pocket, you'll get to your $25,000 goal. Now, let's say you decide you're going to wait until your child starts college and you choose to borrow that $25,000 through a student loan. You can expect to pay about $259 per month over the next 10 years for a total out of pocket of nearly $31,100 to pay back that $25,000 loan. And that's assuming a 4.53% interest rate on subsidized federal direct undergraduate loans, which do not accrue interest during college. So as you can see, by investing in this 529 plan, you saved half of your out-of-pocket costs versus borrowing with a student loan. And $25,000 is just an example. Apply this methodology to any amount you choose to save for college. So what is a Maryland 529? Independent nonprofit Maryland state agency, and we're overseen by 11-member board. We offer 2 Section 529 college savings plans to help families prepare for the future cost of education and reduce future debt. The Maryland Prepaid College Trust, also known as the MPCT, is a contract plan that allows you to prepay college tuition. Currently, the Prepaid Trust is managed in-house by the state of Maryland, but in 2021, we will be transitioning day-to-day program management to Intuition College Savings Solutions. Maryland 529 also offers the Maryland College Investment Plan, which offers a broad range of investment options managed by Rowe Price, an investment leader with more than 80 years of experience. Both plans offer the Save Here, Go Anywhere benefit. Savings can be used to attend nearly any U.S. college and even international universities that have a federal school code, which means they offer federal financial aid. Both plans also offer state and federal tax incentives. Any investment growth is tax deferred at the state and federal level, and earnings are Maryland and federally state tax-free when funds are used for eligible qualified education expenses. So moving on to the next question, how does each plan work? We'll start with the Maryland Prepaid College Trust. This plan allows you the freedom to secure tomorrow's college tuition based on today's contract prices. You can purchase as little as 1 semester for college up to 4 years, and your benefits can be used both in and out of state. If you're a Maryland resident, your payments are eligible for an income subtraction of your state taxes up to $2,500 account. It is backed by a Maryland legislative guarantee, which means that if the trust should ever experience a shortfall, the governor is required to include in the state budget the funds to cover your benefits with approval from the state legislature. So with the Prepaid College Trust, we offer a variety of tuition plans. If you choose the university plan, you can purchase 1 semester up to 4 years of college or university. You can also choose a community college plan, which allows you to purchase 1 or 2 years at a community college. And you can also purchase a 2+2 plan, which means that you can purchase 2 years at a university and then 2 years at a community. We also offer different payment plans. The lump sum payment, which is a one-time payment for the full amount of the tuition plan selected, an annual payment, which is equal yearly payments, or 5-year monthly payment, which means you'll pay 60 equal monthly payments, similar to a car loan, or extended monthly payments. So you have equal payments through December of the year before your beneficiary's projected year of high school graduation or year of initial eligibility. You can also choose the down payment option where you can put down 25, 40, or 50% of the lump sum price, with the remaining amount to be paid monthly or annually. So the way the prepaid college trust works is that your benefits generally pay for tuition and mandatory fees for the tuition plan that you purchased, provided that your beneficiary enrolls in a college as a half-time or full-time student, and at least 3 years have passed since enrollment. And this is important because if your child is a senior in high school and you enroll them in a prepaid college trust, you have to wait 3 years, likely until they're a junior in college, to start using your benefits. And all payments of your contract must be satisfied to receive the full benefits. Now, if your beneficiary attends a Maryland public college, the prepaid college trust will pay the full in-state or in-county tuition and mandatory fees at that Maryland public college. So for example, let's say you have a newborn and you purchase a 1-year university plan for $12,000. 18 years pass and your child is ready to attend a Maryland public college. And now tuition for that 1 year of university costs $16,000. Your child's in-state tuition and mandatory fees are still covered, regardless of the tuition increase, because you already paid for it. Now, let's say your beneficiary attends an eligible private or out-of-state college. The prepaid college trust will pay the actual tuition each semester, or the equivalent up to the maximum of 1/2 of the weighted average tuition in the tuition plan you purchased, or your minimum benefit, whichever is greater. Then you would make up any difference. Now you may ask, what is the minimum benefit? Let's say you purchased a 1-year university contract for $12,000. But when your child actually attends college, the tuition and mandatory fees is only $10,000. This is less the amount you paid for the contract. Your minimum benefit is payments made under the contract minus operating expenses plus a rate of return, which will never be less than 0. So the MPCT will pay the school $10,000 for the tuition and mandatory fees, and the balance remaining under your contract can then be used for other eligible education expenses, such as room and board, books, supplies. Now we're going to review weighted average tuition. So as you can see on this slide, we list the Maryland public colleges, and we list their tuition and mandatory fees for the 2020-2021 academic year. Let's assume you purchased a 1-year contract 18 years ago, and your child is now eligible to use their benefits, and they attend a private or out-of-state college. You will see that the weighted average tuition for this academic year is $10,018.15, which means that for each semester your child attends school, the trust will give you $5,009.07 to cover your tuition and mandatory fees at that private or out-of-state school. And the way the weighted average is calculated for a 4-year Maryland public college is that we multiply the tuition and the student population at each school, add all those figures together, and then divide by the total student population at a 4-year public colleges in the University of Maryland system. That gives us average tuition weighted toward the actual student populations at each school. The weighted average tuition, assuming it is more than your minimum benefit, is then yours to use for tuition and mandatory fees at the out-of-state or private school. If your child's tuition and mandatory fees costs at the private or out-of-state college cost more than the weighted average tuition, you would just need to pay the difference. Just keep in mind, the prices listed here are again based on the 2020-2021 academic year and will most likely change the year your child is eligible to enroll in college. Now we'll move on to the Maryland College Investment Plan, or the MCIP. This plan allows you the freedom to choose how much and how often you want to invest based on your budget and education savings goals. It's $25 to open an account, and there's a variety of investment options managed by Rowe Price. There are no loads, sales charges, commissions, enrollment fees, or annual account fees, and the plan received Morningstar's silver rating, so it is highly rated plan. The plan also offers direct deposit from your bank account or payroll if it's offered by your employer. With the MCIP, your funds will cover tuition and fees at eligible education institutions, including colleges or universities, both in-state and out-of-state, as well as two-year community colleges and trade and technical schools. You can also use your plan to pay for certified apprenticeship programs and tuition only at K through 12 public, private, or religious schools, limited to $10,000 per beneficiary per year. Covered expenses also include any qualified education expense of the beneficiary outlined by IRS Publication 970. So Maryland 529 does not define what your qualified education expenses are. The Internal Revenue Code does. But typically for higher education, qualified education expenses include tuition, room and board, fees, books, and supplies. The Maryland College Investment Plan offers a variety of investment options. You can choose enrollment-based portfolios, which are managed to become more conservative as the target year is approached. You can also choose fixed portfolios where asset allocations are generally constant. You can choose your portfolio you want or choose more than one portfolio. You can move funds from one portfolio to another twice per calendar year. You can select a new portfolio for each new contribution. And you can also use a mix of both enrollment-based and fixed-based portfolios. So the enrollment-based portfolios, let's say you, as the account holder, choose to invest in an enrollment-based portfolio and your child is expected to graduate high school in the year 2039. Based on your time horizon and your risk tolerance, you choose enrollment-based portfolio 2039. As you can see, if you look to the left of your screen, under portfolio 2039, the circle is dark blue, which means 100% of your investments are currently invested in stocks because you have a long time frame to allow for market adjustments. Now, 10 years have passed and your child is 9 years old. Take a look to the right of your screen at portfolio 2039. This portfolio's current allocation gives you an idea of what portfolio 2039's allocations will look like in 9 years. As you can see, there has been a slight shift in the portfolio where there's a mix of stocks and bonds. Now, let's say another 9 years have passed and your child is ready for college. Take a look at the portfolio for education today. This portfolio is intended for beneficiaries who are already attending or about to enroll in school. You'll see that 80% of the funds are invested in bonds and 20% are invested in stocks. So as your child's aged and become closer to college age, the enrollment-based portfolio itself became more conservative over time. But let's say you feel more comfortable choosing how to invest your funds. You can choose from a variety of fixed portfolios. These portfolios do not shift to become more conservative over time, like the enrollment-based portfolios. Instead, the mix, as you see here, remains relatively fixed over time. Here is an example of the types of portfolios offered by Maryland 529, from 100% stock-based funds all the way down to the most conservative U.S. Treasury money market portfolio. As you can see, you have many options on how you want to invest your money. The next question is, what are the state tax benefits unique to Maryland 529? We have some great tax benefits for you. So with the Maryland Prepaid College Trust, you may be eligible to deduct up to $2,500 in MPCT contributions from your Maryland adjusted gross income per account per year. And any payments in excess of $2,500 per account can be carried forward and deducted in future years until the full amount has been deducted. So for example, let's go back to that scenario when we purchased 1-year university plan for $12,000. Let's say you were able to pay your contract in one lump sum. For this tax year, you are eligible to deduct $2,500 from your Maryland adjusted gross income. And next year, you'll be eligible to deduct $2,500 from your Maryland adjusted gross income, even if you didn't make any additional contract payments. And you can continue to deduct up to $2,500 each year until you have exhausted the full amount of your contract payments. Now, with the Maryland College Investment Plan, you're also eligible to deduct up to $2,500 in MCIP contributions from your Maryland adjusted gross income per beneficiary per year. And payments in excess of that $2,500 per beneficiary can be carried forward and deducted for up to the next 10 years. Now, if you look at the orange box on your screen, you will see an example how the income deduction can work for a family. Let's say you have two parents, parent 1 and parent 2, and they have one child, and that child has a college investment plan account and a prepaid college trust account. Now, let's say parent 1 contributes $2,500 into the college investment plan and $2,500 in the prepaid college trust for a total of $5,000. And now parent 2 also wants to make a contribution of $2,500 to each account for a total of $5,000. If parent 1 and parent 2 file jointly, they are eligible to deduct $10,000 from their Maryland adjusted gross income, and their estimated tax savings based on that calculation comes to about $760. Now, let's say you have friends or relatives that want to contribute to your child's account. If they have a Maryland taxable income, they are also eligible to take the Maryland income deduction, again up to $2,500 per year per account in the prepaid college trust or per beneficiary in the college investment plan. The next question, are there age or residency restrictions? When can I open an account or enroll? And the answer is that your age, residency, and enrollment will vary by plan. We'll start with the prepaid college trust. It's open to children in 12th grade or younger, including newborns. Either the account holder or the child must reside in Maryland or DC at the time of enrollment. The reason why we include DC is that DC does not have a public university system. Therefore, DC residents are eligible to receive in-state tuition at Maryland public colleges. Now, with the prepaid college trust, there is an enrollment period. The enrollment period opens on December 1st, that actually opens every year on December 1st and closes on June 30th. However, if you have a newborn under the age of 1, or if you already have a Maryland 529 account, you can enroll outside the enrollment period up until November 30th and lock in that current year's rates. With the college investment plan, is open to adults or children of any age and even before they're born. So if you anticipate you're going to have children in the future, but you want to get your jumpstart in college savings, you can open up the plan in your name and then change the beneficiary's name to your child's name once they are born. Or if you want to go back to school, adults can also use the plan. So you can open up an account in your name and then use it to pursue future education. There are no residency restrictions for the college investment plan, so you do not have to be a Maryland or DC resident to open an account. And there is no enrollment period. Enrollment is open all year round. So if you wanted to open up a college investment plan account today, you could go to our website and do so. Now, you may choose to open accounts in either plan or both plans, so you don't have to pick one or the other. We do have a lot of families who choose to open up a prepaid college trust account so they can lock in the tuition and mandatory fees at the Maryland public colleges. And then they open a college investment plan account to help supplement those other expenses, such as room and board, books, and supplies. On to the next question. So would I lose my savings if my student doesn't go to college or gets a scholarship? And the answer to that is that you have very many options. With both plans, you can use the funds to cover other eligible education expenses, such as books, room and board, fees, and supplies. You can also defer using your plan until graduate school. You can transfer unused benefits or distributions to a relative or other beneficiary by blood or by marriage. Just keep in mind that with the prepaid college trust, the relative must be in 12th grade or younger in order to transfer those unused benefits. You can also transfer funds between the plans. For example, if you have a prepaid college trust account for your child, but your child wants to attend a trade school, you can transfer your funds from the prepaid college trust into the college investment plan and use the money from your college investment plan to pay for tuition and eligible education expenses at the trade school. Lastly, you may also choose to request a refund or take a distribution, and I'll provide information on both on the next slide. So if I elect to take a refund or distribution for non-qualified expenses, would there be tax consequences? And unfortunately, the answer to that is yes. But the way it works is in the event your student receives a scholarship, grant, tuition remission, or attends a military academy, and you withdraw the money for a non-qualified expense, you will have to pay an income tax on the earnings if the equivalent amount is withdrawn. So you do not have to pay an income tax on the principal because contributions you make to your account go in after taxes. However, you will have to pay that income tax on the earnings. And if you were taking that Maryland income deduction all those years that you were making contributions to your account, the state of Maryland is going to want to recapture that on the principal. Now, let's say your student doesn't attend school at all, and you choose to withdraw the money in your 529 account to buy a car. You will still have to pay an income tax on the earnings in your account, plus an additional 10% federal tax penalty on those earnings. However, in the event of disability or death of the beneficiary, that 10% federal tax penalty does not apply. And lastly, the state of Maryland will recapture the Maryland income deduction on the principal. If you have a prepaid college trust account and your child did not receive a scholarship, grant, or tuition remission, and does not have a qualified exception, such as a death or disability, the account holder may choose to receive a reduced refund. The prepaid college trust is like a pooled investment similar to a pension fund. So your payments are going into a pooled fund. You don't have an individual account like you would in the college investment plan. When you request a refund, the trust has to sell investments in order to get that money to you. And anytime you sell an investment, it could be more than what it was purchased for, or it could be less. So we look at the contributions over time and determine, are there earnings or are there losses? And we share in that when we process your refund. So if you had a prepaid college trust account for less than 3 years, you get your actual payments back minus any administrative fees and any benefits you use if you did use the plan. And then you would receive plus or minus 50% of the earnings or losses that would have been received over that time in your contributions. And then if you've been in the plan for longer than 3 years, again, you're going to get your actual payments minus any administrative fees and benefits used, and then 90% of any earnings or losses on those payments if you've been enrolled for longer than 3 years. Next question, can family members or friends make a contribution to my account? And the answer to that is yes. We actually make it very easy for you. They can give a gift to the Go Tuition. So friends and families can choose to make a gift contribution to an existing account. The Maryland College Investment Plan offers an easy-to-use Go Tuition gifting portal and allows you to create a customized profile page with a personalized welcome message and photo. You can send a private custom link to family and friends through email and social channels, or print links on invitations or announcements. You can also maintain your page and track gifting assets through the dashboard, or you can simply just download a gifting form, fill in the requested information, and mail that form along with your gift contribution. So you have the option to use the Go Tuition portal, or you can use the gift form. With the prepaid college trust, we do not have the online gifting portal yet, but you are still able to download a gifting form, fill in the requested information, and mail that form along with your gift contribution. Those gifting forms can be found on our website at maryland529.com/gift. And you'll also be able to find more information about Go Tuition on that page. So the next question, what is the state contribution program and do I qualify? The Save for College state contribution program is designed to help lower and middle income families in Maryland save money for higher education. Applicants may be eligible to receive $250 or $500 contribution by the state if they open a new Maryland College Investment Plan account, or if they open their account after December 31st of 2016. Applicants must then complete the state contribution program application on our website, which will be available beginning January 1st and will remain open through May 31st. They will then have to make a minimum contribution to their account by November 1st in order to be eligible to receive the $250 or $500 contribution from the state. Program eligibility and the minimal contribution amount is determined by the applicant's Maryland taxable income. So if an individual earns less than $112,500 per year, or joint couple filing must earn less than $175,000 per year to be eligible to apply for the state contribution program. If you look at the Maryland taxable income chart, you'll see that the lower the household income, the more an applicant can receive from the state. So, for example, for individuals earning less than $50,000 a year, or joint couple filing making less than $75,000 per year, they would need to make a minimal contribution of $25 in their Maryland College Investment Plan by November 1st in order to receive $500 from the state. And as household income increases, the minimum contribution increases. So if you look at the middle row and you're making less than $87,500 as an individual, or less than $124,999 as joint couple filing, you have to make that minimal contribution of $100 to get $500. And then if you're in the highest household income bracket, you will need to make a minimal contribution of $250 in order to get $250 from the state. I do want to point out that there is also an annual limit of 2 state contributions per beneficiary, regardless of who is listed as the account holder. Now, there are additional caveats to this program that I'd like to point out. First, the beneficiary must be a Maryland resident. And again, there is an annual limit of 2 state contributions per beneficiary, regardless of who is listed as the account holder on the account. Second, applicants must make their minimal contribution based on their household income by November 1st. They also have to make sure that they do not exceed the taxable income in that taxable year. So they cannot exceed that $112,500 as an individual, or $175,000 as a married couple filing jointly. Third, state contribution recipients cannot take an income deduction the year they receive the contribution. So if you apply in 2020 and you are eligible to receive a contribution of $250 or $500, you cannot take a Maryland income deduction in that year. However, if you do not receive a tax contribution that year, you are still eligible to take a Maryland income deduction. For more information about this program, you can visit our website at maryland529.com/save4college. The next question, are there additional details about the plans that I need to know? The first one is need-based aid. A lot of families are concerned that if they have assets in their 529 account, that will hurt their ability to receive need-based aid. If a parent is the account holder and their child is the beneficiary of the 529 account, the assets will reduce a student aid package by up to a maximum of 5.64% of the asset's value. So if a parent's 529 account has $10,000, their child's need-based aid award could be reduced by as much as $564. Now, a certain amount of parental assets are excluded from the FAFSA calculation altogether, but that figure has declined significantly in recent years. While nobody wants to lose out on some of their need-based aid, the tax-free investment earnings, along with the benefits of the state income deduction for contributions, could outweigh the possible reduction in the need-based aid. Also, ownership of the account, meaning whether a parent, grandparent, or the student is the account holder, as well as the timing of distributions, can impact how the 529 account is considered for purposes of calculating federal financial aid. Here are 2 helpful websites that provide more information about your 529 impacts FAFSA: finaid.org, as well as studentaid.ed.gov. I also want to point out that Maryland Able Maryland ABLE, which stands for Achieving a Better Life Experience. Maryland ABLE is a 529A plan that is also administered by Maryland 529. And it helps individuals with disabilities save money and pay for qualified disability-related expenses without jeopardizing federal means tested benefits such as SSI or Medicaid. So if you or your child or family member has a disability and is interested in opening up a Maryland ABLE plan, you can get more information at the Maryland ABLE website at marylandable.org, or you can contact them directly at able@maryland529.org. So the next question, how do I open an account and enroll? With the Prepaid College Trust, select your tuition plan, select your payment option, and then apply online at maryland529.com during the enrollment period. If it is outside the enrollment period and you have a newborn or have an existing Maryland 529 account and you want to open a Prepaid College Trust account, you will need to call our office and submit a paper application. You will need to complete an enrollment form for each child you want to enroll. With the college investment plan, select one or more investment options and choose how much and how often you want to contribute to your account. Apply online at maryland529.com at any time and make sure you complete an enrollment form for each child. As always, we encourage you to read the entire enrollment kit before deciding to open an account, and you can find our enrollment kit on our website at maryland529.com. This concludes our presentation. If you have any questions, please visit our website at maryland529.com, or you can call us. We are actually located in Baltimore at 1-888-4MD-GRAD.
Thanks so much, Donna. That was
I
so
think
much-
I need something to drink now.
Take your time. We've got some good questions, and you've given us a lot of information. So please note, everyone, you can cut and paste the links that are in the chat into a document on your computer, and you can go check them out later, because I know that there was just so much good information and a lot of numbers and percentages, and sometimes it is really hard to figure out which plan to sign up for. We have one participant who has a couple questions. It sounds like as a grandmother, her annual contribution may or may not be deductible to her grandson's MCIP. So she's asking what her deductible status would be as a grandmother. And she also wants to know how she can maximize the Maryland tax benefits if her child is living in a different state.
If the child is in a different state and she is in Maryland, you can open up I would suggest the investment side for as little as $25. But if you wanted to maximize those benefits, if you open up and submit $2,500 during the year, you can claim that amount on your Maryland tax return. So the child can attend anywhere in the United States with the investment, just you would need to be as a Maryland tax account holder to be able to claim those good tax benefits. Of course, you can put more in the plan than $2,500. $2,500 is just the max on the state, on the tax benefits.
Mm-hmm. And are there people at the Maryland College Investment Plan who can help answer some of these tax questions? Can you just call in for that?
Yes, usually you would be put into a queue to have them call you back. They do get back to you within 48 hours, or you could actually send them an email and they would get back to you within that 48 hours as well.
Mhm.
Just keep in mind, everyone is working remotely still, but
Mhm.
they work very hard to get back to you as soon as possible.
We have a question asking for clarification, on the beneficiary. Um,
Okay.
um, so the person asks, who is the beneficiary? Um,
Well, the beneficiary would be who the account holder deemed it is. Now you can actually open up account for any child. They do not have to be a relative of yours.
Mhm.
So you would be the account holder opening up for the child as the beneficiary.
Mhm. And how difficult is it to switch the account if it turns out that that beneficiary does not go to college or
You can
um,
actually do all that online, and
mhm,
it's not hard at all, because I always recommend going online to submit your application.
mhm.
Everything is right there and you can move it over quite easily.
It's good to know. Now, we have a question. Can my ex and myself each open an account for our son and both receive state contributions into those accounts for the same child? Um,
Yes, oh, I'm sorry.
provided we qualify based on our income filing separately.
Yes, you could open, the child can have 2 per year. So you could submit your application depending on your, in your gross salary, would it be depending on whether you would get the 250 or the 500.
Mhm,
But you both could do that because the child can have 2 per year.
mhm. Are there any other questions, anyone? We do have a few more minutes if you have any other questions.
I always recommend, after these presentations, go into the website and look at all the information there. Look at the enrollment kit. We used to actually provide hard copies of the enrollment kit, but we haven't been able to because of the, everyone working remotely. But definitely go in. There's a wealth of information there. Great website to review. Very colorful, user-friendly. All
Mhm.
the information should be there, very handy for you to access.
Wonderful. Well, that's great to know. Thank you again, Donna, for
Of
presenting this
course.
plan to us. And we do encourage those of you who have listened to this webinar to give us your feedback. The link is in the chat. And we will end this webinar now. Have a great evening, everyone.
Oh, you too. Thanks for having me. Bye now.
Bye-bye.